Everything you see here is illustrated by DeForrest, so no, you're not going to hear about how to generate images, and I don't even call that art. This show is about actually picking up a pencil, picking up paper, and you, talking about you, the person who needs to smile at the mirror more often, where you can create something all your own. Whether analog or digital, you'll make great artwork of your own means. I've been at this for more than 2 decades, and it's an amazing skill to have, especially when used irresponsibly. But hey, as I said in my last video, the world ain't moving backwards. AI is here to stay, and it's just going to get more powerful, so you gotta move the media in smarter ways. My name is DeForrest, and I will be your host. This episode features the art process of Odd, an original work from my earlier days of learning Corel Painter. It's actually one of the director's favorites, as she has a skirt with this character on it. You can find this and my other original works at lifeforever3.com. So, we can count this as part 2 of my little AI discussion. Last month's video was about my opinions on generated quote-unquote artwork and why I keep drawing regardless. So for proper context, I'd recommend checking that out. Links in the description. But you've seen the title and you're probably wondering how you can possibly take advantage of this new intrusive technology that makes non-artistic posers and imposters on the daily without being a total plagiarist or opportunist. Well, stop taking yourself so seriously since you can't do that 100% of the time anyway. But I'm going to tell you a few things I've done recently to enhance my business and my overall way of everything that doesn't involve artwork, because that's honestly what automation should do for you. So one of the first major things I made AI do was craft a better business plan. I looked at my original one from 2018 and cringed like crazy for 3 reasons. 1, it wasn't working, and reasons 2 and 3, it wasn't working. For those wondering, I'm not shy about it. I'm about both the art and the money. I got people in my house I want to keep alive, and they like the house as well. I'm sure you probably need stuff too. Not sponsored, but I've been using Perplexity for this, and I'll briefly go through how I've used it for non-art purposes. Quick aside here, if this is your first time watching, I promise that the show is about me teaching you how to draw. Don't worry, we have plenty of previous episodes that feature specific drawing techniques, so please consider this a special behind-the-scenes episode on the development of Life Forever. To start, we got our hands on the Pro version of Perplexity since it came with a phone we bought. But more importantly, that option comes with the platform having memory, so I don't have to keep the same tab open on the browser all the time. I'll give a trick to somewhat get around this later. I've mentioned that you should treat AI as a separate employee, and in this case, I made it a consultant. It's like having an oracle that just knows the entire internet. For me though, I had to give it context about what I'm doing and what the artistic and business goals are. Those have shifted a lot since the first business plan, and I didn't want to feed that to the chatbot, so instead I asked it to interview me. I spent a lot of nights getting through at least 70 questions about what I'd like to happen, and that doesn't even count all the follow-up questions and answers I had to give it. A big side effect from this process is that it forced me to confront some truths about how I've gone about the art business in the past. It gave a lot of room for me to think. I even got to bounce some ideas off of it, and I get some decent suggestions. Yes, I know I'm feeding the beast, I guess, but if you're so worried about big tech knowing too much about you, let me show you another piece of technology that fed the machine a long time ago. Yeah, the government already knows, and they knew a long time ago, especially about that weird thing you did that one time. And that weird thing you did 5 other times. Anyway, when I figured out how to extract it all, I ended up with a 333-page document at the end. Yeah, that was intentional. And it covered a whole slew of topics like content creation strategies, website optimization, monetization, tax operations, even upholding ethics and transparency. Now, it's definitely not finalized, it never will be since business plans should be living documents, and I'm definitely not reading that all the way through. But it's important to create as many of these documents as possible to keep you on track. Create and update documents as you go along to update the context for every new question you ask the chatbot. You can also just ask it to interview you again. You might be able to get around the memory limits if you only stick with free AIs. The other big use is for search engine optimization, and possibly even more importantly nowadays, generative engine optimization. For those who don't know that second one, just keep in mind what happens when you Google anything these days. Back in the olden days of the 2010s, we get the top 10 or whatever websites we were looking for. Then it went on to be the top sponsored sites along with a bunch of ads. Nowadays, what's the first thing it gives you? Some generated answer to whatever you search for. It's time we all tailor our websites toward that. I like to look at it as the machines talking to each other. AI is pulling from everything, so I want to be sure that I have the proper keywords, phrases, and targeted language so you guys can see everything I'm working on. But I still need to remember that I'm a drop in the very vast electronic ocean. I'm not the only artist on the internet, but I am the only DeForrest, the 3 of spades, and I shine like no one else. Let's take this show for example. Now remember, every single script, every single word I say here is written by me. The same as my blog posts and worksheets, the same as Street Pedal Black. That is all me, and I take pride as an instructional and fiction writer. My SEO skills, however, are pretty lame, so what I do is I take the scripts from these episodes and upload that into the chatbot. From there, I ask it to create YouTube descriptions and suggest titles based on your guys' searches and what you're interested in. Keep in mind that YouTube is the second biggest search engine for people looking for answers to their problems. I've even asked Perplexity to suggest certain days and times for video launches according to viewer habits, and I'm using it to assist with breaking down analytics as well. And it's really been helping out my YouTube numbers. Not as fast as I like to, but you can do something about that. I do the same for making descriptions for my products in the online shop. I've changed a lot of website language in order to better fit GEO and to make the Life Forever website stand out. But one of my favorite AI uses is for research. I've had it seek out different apps and services for things like social media posting and auto-generated captions for shorts. Also looking up features of different services to help cut down on costs and get products that actually do what I pay for. As I've said before, I like books. Growing up, I realized I like reading nonfiction more than fiction, although Animorphs slapped. My favorite books dealt with hobbies and crafts, so after creating the business plan, I've just been asking Perplexity to create reference material upon reference material. Now, I said earlier about confronting truths. The big one is I haven't been as successful with my art career as I'd like at this point, mainly because I was overwhelmed by what are the most important questions to ask and the work that I had to put in to answer them. It's no excuse for it, but fear and task paralysis are real things. You're never going to be 100% ready, you just sometimes gotta go. Once I realized this and owned up to it, I just started hammering the most specific questions and concerns about success into AI, and every answer from the chatbot is basically a short essay of instructions that I could follow. Or choose not to follow. This tech is meant to assist, so have your own agency. I can learn in short bursts as I go. Speaking of which, I'm starting a new series of shorts where I'll answer some of the most commonly asked questions about illustration on the internet. You can drop your own questions into the comments as well, and I'll answer them sometime in the future. You can check out the first of those shorts in July right here on the Life Forever YouTube channel. Now, if you're wondering, DeForrest, have you ever actually generated an image? The answer is yes, because some of that stuff is just funny. In fact, check out what the director got when she talked about Street Pedal Black with AI. Man, look at these goobers right here. That part's my favorite. And I do constantly think of what would be some ethical ways to use generated images in terms of being an actual illustrator. It seems that for every new innovation, there's so much backlash, which I get. We don't need to accept everything to navigate this strange new world of opportunity, but it's important to be fluid and moreover patient with other opinions. Spend some time with people, not just with the tech. You're so worried about the digital, are you getting your analog time in as well? The automation is a little insane sometimes. Like I said, we need to look at certain possibilities and just set some kind of standards. I can't tell you what yours should be. I can't tell you what all of mine are because this is something I'm still learning in the process. But the point is, I'm willing to learn. I can tell you for now, I'm not uploading sketches and having them rendered into full finished products. Also, you'll never see me selling raw AI materials. No generated images and no AI books or blog posts or anything like that. All the text and designs and the worksheets I sell are completely made by me in design apps. These are the things I enjoy creating and I personally put my hands on. And that's what my show is about. Digital artwork is my favorite combo of man and machine, and I'll give you my tips and tricks from over the years. Just work on finding your own balance. I think I've mentioned things that you can use AI for without compromising your integrity. Probably. I don't know how much integrity you have to begin with. Well, let's not get into that. I'm sure you got a lot of feedback for this, so please leave those comments and be sure to check out new episodes of Illustrated by DeForrest on the 3rd of every month. I promise you I'll have a more drawing-based topic next month. Since all it has a lot of it, I think I'll make it about color. Just tap that subscribe button so you're notified when it drops. Move the media. Peace.